Okay, day 126, this is part 7. Just to give you a flavor of the kind of folks around here at the Gaylord. Lots of, I didn't realize there was so much political infrastructure, you know, email marketing companies and all that sort of thing. I thought it was just politics, which is interesting. It's kind of like a trade show, and that kind of surprised me with CPAC. Somebody just sent me something, a cut from Jason, just really vociferously saying George makes stuff up, and I'm sensitive to that because I remember H.A. Goodman saying that for 200 days about the Pride hard drives, and so I let me repeat this and just see if I have my facts wrong. Now, since the whole democracy is kind of coming down to what actually happened in Florida, not necessarily with the shooting, but what actually happened a couple of miles away at the Diplomat Hotel and the Sea Island Hotel and the Trump Hollywood Hotel. Those 3 hotels are now in the set of our play, of our whole little coup, our whole little soft coup, all kind of takes place in that stage. So that's why I've said, and I may be wrong, my recollection may be wrong. Sometimes when there's a lot of things happening, you don't always remember things, but there's plenty of video on this stuff, and there's plenty of radio interviews and so forth that we can go back to and check our facts. But here's how I remember it, okay? We have a lot of Russians going into Miami. We have a lot of EB-5s and a lot of investment going into those hotels. I remember interviewing Jared Beck and Elizabeth with Jason. We spent about 6 or 7 hours. This is my recollection. If that's not true, that's not true. But Jared Beck is the one who told me that all these lawyers were putting all this money into EB-5s and real estate in Florida. And they were putting it into the Trump Hollywood and the Sea Island and the Diplomat. And he's the one who told me that that was center of operations for Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I was with Jason at his at the house undisclosed location when she made the announcement, from the Diplomat Hotel. I remember going there with Jason and his ex, who is Russian. I remember being right across the street from the Sea Island, which is where our Russian lawyers are from our story. I remember being in the Diplomat Hotel talking to these rabbis and also talking to these priests from the Middle East. If that isn't what happened, that isn't what happened. If Jason's ex-wife's purse wasn't stolen there, maybe I remember that wrong. I remember doing an interview with Lee Stranahan on Sputnik Radio in that lobby. I remember going down the beach with Jason, looking at Bernie Weisant's last place where he was found when he supposedly committed suicide. I remember looking up and seeing Trump Hollywood. This is where Sergey Millian says he sold all the EB-5 partnerships. This is where the key grain guy for the Ukraine, and biscuits are a big part of this story now. These Bolshevik biscuits are a big part of the story. He dies in that hotel a little bit before or a little bit after when we're there. I don't know when Uranov died, but it was right around that. We were there, I think, in July, maybe August. Uranov died maybe a month before that. So I think it's worthwhile doing asking Jason these questions and seeing if I made this stuff up. Regarding the Mossad stuff, I had always said that there was folks in Europe sending me encrypted email. There was a meeting of John Podesta in a meeting talking about art in Paris, and I got this person moving around said that they were French Mossad. I don't know. I have no way of verifying. I'd need to hire Tony Schaefer to do the verification of the resources. I mean, this is the intelligence business. Look at the problems with the PP dossier. That was supposedly put together by 6 spies, and it was fraught, full of stuff that was supposedly made up. So I think all of the things I've said are verifiable. You can ask Jason about them. If you think I made it up, I had a Proton Mail account, and I was getting information. So I don't know what else to say other than everything I say is subject to verification. There's lots of video out there, lots of transcripts, lots of radio interviews. He may recall things differently, but the future of our democracy is funneling down now to those 3 buildings. So what we have to say about those 3 buildings now is important. With the whole EB-5 investigation, the whole Miami office of the FBI, and I think it's great to call me names or whatever, but come back and correct what part of this story do I have wrong? Is Bogachev not a lawyer there in one of those 3 buildings? Is Krylova not a lawyer and has had contact with those people? Is Westerman not a lawyer there? Are those people not connected to Imran Awan at that 6166 location? If not, then come back and explain to me what I got wrong. I'm not saying I have 100% photographic memory. These are just the things I remember. But because the country and the whole soft coup is based there, it's worth talking about. It's worth talking about before the coup happens. That's all I'm saying.